Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 202 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your Jillian DM, and that's how it's going to be today, boys. We have our players with us today, whose names are correct, which is Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Um, I think I will go ahead and jump into a quick recap, and I think we can get the ball rolling as we are in the middle of combat, a very important combat. The party has come together, gathered allies, and has basically, this is kind of like the fight of fights, as it were. This is if you fail this fight, there are no more fights to fight, at least not for you guys. Maybe for somebody else, but not for you guys. Um, they are currently in combat with a cultist named Bosch or the Guard, and his ally Sunny. They are currently using these necrotic batteries to basically connect multiple trees across the continent and blow them sky high, causing some sort of catastrophic damage in the intent of ending human life on the continent. You are currently fighting Bosch, who you have almost felled once, while he was looking very frail and not clinging super hard to life. And after some very polite coaxing from his ally, he decided to use the gift he was offered, which was this withered arm that attached to where his arm had once been and grew into a terrible necrotic appendage. And when he picked up his bow, the bow became part of said appendage. So now he is currently just his arm is a large bow. And now is currently engaging in combat as this battery continues to wind upwards, growing in power. Roshan has made it across the field flying, uh, and has started beginning to work on the battery with the intent of using it to sever the flame from the rest of the shadows. When he started, the flame immediately caught on to what was happening and ran to now her only ally, ran to Nana and was like, listen, he's trying to kill me. He is actively trying to kill me. And Nana says, don't worry, you're not dying. And then Nyx looks her in the eyes and says, if you do this, I will kill Roshan. And then keeps running. And so that's where that is on that. As Keld and Fen are in combat currently with Bosch. Fen is also just in perpetual combat with like an ichor snake and is has taken no damage, but is there doing its best as it has picked Fen to attack the whole time, and just has been following him across the battlefield. Sunny and Gunhild are currently in combat, used to be friends, maybe still friends, but Gunhild's not afraid to kill her friends. So they are engaged in combat. Sunny is currently blinded, and when we left off, the ground began to rumble and you see fissures beginning to form at the base of the tree. You can also see um, a ways away, obscured a bit by trees from your angle, but you can see that there is a storm that has rolled in quite quickly. And you see a flash of lightning hit in the distance and a roll of thunder, as this storm sort of begins. It looks like it is above the furthest location. Uh, as you all feel this rumbling beneath your feet, Roshan, you can see these cracks beginning to form basically like below where you are floating. Um, all of the corpses that are in concentric circles around the tree begin to twitch and move. Their backs arch and break, and they let out once again a terrible scream. I need everybody besides Keld and Nyx to give me a wisdom saving throw.
17. 5.
22.
Okay. Roshan, that same sensation of fear once again grips you as you are now racked with it from this scream. It is now Gunhild's turn, who is dodging these just wild attacks from Sunny, who cannot see. And Gunhild catches on pretty quickly that Sunny is blind. Almost seemed like she was like going to start like regrouping. Fully changes her mind and stays in combat with Sunny and is going to take an advantage attack against her. Her current armor class is that. Okay. Yeah, those are nice numbers. She makes contact, kind of dodging under the swing of a sword and then like doing a quick stab into Sunny's side. Sunny's gonna go ahead and take a bunch of damage. I kind of wish all of my characters didn't take their turns back to back so I could like, do the damage in between. But that's not the case. And then 96 for the sneak attack. Oof. Okay. Okay. All right, does about around 40-ish damage to Sunny as she kind of just bobs and weaves around her. That is her attack. She will bonus action. Nah, she's in it to win it. She doesn't know how long this blindness lasts. So she's going to stay. Um, that is her turn. And now we move on to Bosch, who is currently looking at Keld, and Keld can see like this look of jealousy on his face as he realizes that Keld's gonna die before him. And there is sort of this like almost look of sorrow as Bosch kind of like looks at you and then like takes a quick glance in of the surroundings, and he kind of like his jaw begins to pry open a bit as he lets out like this kind of like almost laugh of a sigh. I get it. Green and blue. I know people are sensitive. I'll try to kill you at the same time. And he turns his arm to Nyx and is going to take his attack against her, trying to show you a kindness so you don't have to mourn each other for too long.
So
Um,
kind.
I think so. He thinks so. That is the bow. That would be a nat 20.
Crits do not affect me.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Um, Such an interesting ability. If you have free time, try and figure out why that's true.
No.
Yeah, when
The
you have free
spores
time,
help out.
tell me why. The spores are like, we don't like that.
That's the only thing they're good at helping out with. Everything else, not
They're
not quite
very
so
clever.
much.
They help slow down the arrow.
They
You're
said,
right.
that's too quick. So
They slow it down, make it angle not towards the worst spot possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Hold on.
This
Not how you
spores
pick
no
that up.
jujitsu.
Six. You take this is or I'm not like doubling anything. You take 12 points of piercing damage and 29 necrotic damage. And is it your turn, sir? Yeah, we take one hit with the bow. Um turns and like hits and kind of like looks back at you like he is doing you a kindness. Um, and now me again. It is
Hild
now
does not
Sunny's
say
turn.
thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Thanks
All right.
withheld.
Sunny is going to use one of her abilities to deal with this bullshit. Bonus action, fighting spirit to give herself advantage. So now she is rolling a flat roll as she feels herself get stabbed and like takes a deep shuddering breath and steadies herself and is now going to swing. She also gets some temp HP. Nope, that's Gunhild. You don't get it. Gosh, guys, I have so many tabs up. And there's so
I
many
believe that.
characters. Okay. Sunny is gonna do the same amount of hit points or armor class. Takes a strike with the silvery blue sword first. That's going to hit. And then she's going to go with the black ichor sword, which is also going to hit. It's close. Okay. And then on this sword, okay, begins to hit into Gunhild, like focusing in, listening, and then takes her strikes more measured instead of wild and chaotic, and is able to land both. Um, Throwing Gunhild off. You can see Gunhild now like on the back foot. Like maybe I should have disengaged. Like maybe I should have. But it's too late for that. She's used her action, bonus action. She will stay here. Nana, you are up. Roshan, you are on deck. Nana, you are with the entity now, and you can feel her fear. It is palpable. Her panic is real, that she thinks she's going to die. She becomes much more incentivized.
Mm-hmm. Nana looks to Nyx, looks to Roshan, and Nana uses her action to use her commanding presence. And she says, Keld needs help. The flame can help, hero, and so can I. Let us help, please!
What are you attempting to do?
Trying to persuade him to not kill the flame, possibly, like, redirect into whatever it was the flame was thinking, which is, she has to assume something Roshan could intuit. He's smart with magic. He's been in tune with the flame. And she's not going to talk about that across the battlefield.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. The words you say are true and ring out. I do not allow like persuasion checks like this used on allies.
Mm-hmm.
So Roshan will have to decide on his own. So I will allow you to take back the commanding presence, and you can have that. So you did not use it. But you call out your plea. Whatever Roshan does with that on his turn is what he does.
And
What are you doing?
in that case, I have my action then, since I didn't spend it.
Yeah.
I will...
The flame is intent on getting to the tree. You can feel the pull.
Yeah. Nana mutters under her breath, "Let him help us. Let him help us, please." And she's going to use her action surge in order to dash across the battlefield, and then also have an action to use her attack on Bosch. All three.
Okay.
I'm going to use my bonus action to swap Hunter's Mark from Sunny to Bosch. So I will have that additional D6.
Mhm.
And I'm using my short sword of wands. Okay, here we go. Okay. First attack, nope, only a 13. Second attack, 27 to hit.
27 hits.
That's 13 points of damage. I think that's piercing. Let's see. Dirty 20 to hit.
That does not hit.
Does not. Okay. She is staying right up in Bosch's space. If she is able to insinuate herself in between Bosch and Keld, she will try to do so.
That cannot be done unless you had like bait and switch. So you are just equally in this with Keld. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Bosch will use a legendary action as multiple people are now engaged with him. While this is happening, Nana and Roshan, you hear just, it is a cry of anguish. It is a woman's weep. The rest of you just feel like this strange staticky tension in the air as the flame sounds like it is mourning because its one ally did not choose it and lied to her. Bosch doesn't care about any of that though, and begins to just like move the arm back forwards, aims it at the ground, and fires off a shot. I need dexterity saving throws from Nana, Keld, and Fen.
16.
24.
19.
Okay. Fen, once again, strange, terrible flips in the air that just avoid all types of damage and what have you. I will give Nana and Keld half damage to be polite. I don't think that means much in this scenario, but you are going to go ahead and take 6 points of fire damage. And six points of necrotic damage.
Killed is going down.
Okay. As this necrosis like leaves your vision, Keld is now on the ground. That's the legendary action. We are now on to Roshan's turn with Fen on deck.
So Roshan is terrified because of the screaming, but also because he doesn't know what he's doing. He is improvising. So I think the anguished cry that the fire lets out is mirrored by Roshan, and he he knows that this is perhaps the last vestige of Gulveg, but this is it's too late to turn back. Uh, and maybe that is a decision fueled by his own greed, but he'll analyze that another time and is going to use the advantage you gave us to continue.
Okay.
27.
Okay. Roshan, could you describe to me some more about how this magic looks or remind us?
Yeah, so he'd begun pulling uh, pieces off of the tracings, the tattoos that had peeled themselves off of his body. He begins pulling more and more of them. He reaches behind his head and pulls the halo, and knows that likely to finish this spell, it will uh, it will mean that he rips off the rest of his form to his unleashed Asimar form to finish this. But I think he's so afraid that he's got a one-track mind, and he doesn't even look back as he cries in anguish while trying to kill someone that he in some way loves.
Okay. The orb in and of itself does not seem to be faltering. You don't seem to be doing any damage to it, which is the intent. Um, you feel as if what you are doing has not been interrupted and is continuing. You're just not sure how far along you are or how much more is needed of you yet, but you feel at least you are progressing. The shadow, the flame, will act on your turn. Um, turns its focus to Roshan. I can't come back. And like almost a feral animal, Nana, you can see from your positioning as you've run over to engage with Bosch, the flame, a being of energy, just visible in the distance, on all fours, as if like dragging itself up the hill, using its strength and pulling itself towards Roshan. And will act of its own accord as it makes its way through the corpses. And Roshan, you feel a hand grab you on the scruff. I need a charisma saving throw.
Is it a spell?
No. This
Okay.
is this is an
27.
ability. Ooh. You feel as if you barely kept control of your mind. As
Bad.
the flame begins to like wreath itself around you and heat begins to engulf you, and you are going to take damage by being in the same space as the flame as it tries to stop you from what you are doing. So you just take some passive damage. Go ahead and take 6 fire damage. And then
Good
a
thing I
nice,
took that fire resistance potion,
yeah.
and
And
then
your
I'll roll a con
concentration
save.
check.
Plenty. Wow,
All
two
right.
18s.
Pretty cool. You got Warcaster, or is that a warlock thing?
I got the warlock shitty version of
Yeah, you got the
Warcaster.
shitty Warcaster thing. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I remember now. um, it is just cries of anguish as the flame Roshan, you can like see it now, its arm wrapping around yours and making its way towards the orb. That is, I forgot. Silly Babes gets to, she'll use the Ave dice. She gets to see if she can recharge an ability. Okay. Fen, you are up. Nyx, you're the next player character on deck.
So Fen is bloodied and muddy, and his cloak is probably a little singed from the little evasion he just did. But he's going to look Bosch in the eye and say, "You said you wanted to save nature. Look around you. Look what you've done." It just a pile of devastation, and Fen will lower his crossbow at Bosch and take a shot.
Okay.
It does a 29 hit.
It certainly does.
Cool.
Here's hoping. 29 hits.
For 24 points of damage.
Okay.
And Fen will pull a prayer bead off of the necklace and slap it into Keld's chest and cast Cure Wounds as a bonus action and step into Bosch's space.
Okay. I was about to see, I'm like, is Cure Wounds this Lapis one? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just gonna step after he puts that bolt into Bosch. He's gonna just step right up in his grill,
Okay.
and that'll be the end of Fen's turn.
And how many hit points does Keld get back? Fen, you roll.
Yeah. It doesn't specify what level the Cure Wounds is at, so I have to assume it's level 1 because it's a level 1 spell. So
I
he'll
would
get.
assume unless it states otherwise.
Oh, that's a good roll. 8 plus my spell casting modifier, which Fen doesn't cast a lot of. I happen to have the spell though. 10 points back.
All right. Keld, you go down, you feel magic sort of wash over you, and you're able to like pry your eyes back open. That is
Can you
Fen's
imagine Bosch
turn.
using a legendary action to just give him the Blancus again? No!
Hey, I said
Petty.
it's not petty if it's right. His legendary actions are so expensive. Uh,
You gotta pay for them?
you telling me this costs money? Sunny will use a legendary action though. Because hers aren't as expensive. She will still blind, so we are going to stay with Gunhild and make an attack. The Bosch dice is so cool, but okay. That's going to be, oh yeah, that is higher than what Gunhild has going on. Okay. And makes another attack that lands against her. That is Sunny's legendary action. And now it's all of the ghoulies. You watch as basically all of the ghoulies are like have put themselves back together in varying stages and are now just once again making their way forwards to the group based on this drawing. I think
Feels very Tim Burton.
I can see it all claymation. Yeah, I think everybody's getting ghoulies. Ghoulies for you and ghoulies for you. Let's start here. Uh, two creatures striding forward are going to make their way over to Fen. They have these like mouths that are just like broken and ajar, and their tongues are like waggling beneath them. Um, but they are going to make their attacks, both of them against you. The Bosch dice blends in on the table. Okay, one of those is going to miss, one of those is going to hit. So that is. You take 17 points of psychic damage. And it takes its other.
This is who?
This is Fen.
Okay.
The other one will click its attack against Fen. That will also hit. You take 17 points of psychic damage as this thing clings to you, and it's just this like racked, terrible scream that pierces into your mind as both of them kind of like cling to you. Bodies trying to not, like, they're trying not to sink beneath the waves, is how it looks. That is their turn. It is the Varguli. These terrible twisted human heads with wings. You can see that there's one who's just sort of spinning in place as one of its wings has not like been able to reattach yet, as it was the most recently felled one. So it's just like spinning on the ground, unable to balance, while the others take to the skies and make their way over to. We're gonna give 2 to Gunhild, 2 to Nyx, and 1 to Roshan. So I'll do Gunhild in a minute. So 2 to Nyx. Nyx, you feel tunk tunk as like 2 Varguli thump into your back, as they are prone to do. Roshan, what is your armor class?
15.
Ooh, 14. Lucky day. As this
Ooh.
Varguli, actually, hold on. The dice want it, the dice crave it. Roshan, this flies towards you, and then there's like the heat that is radiating off of you. It goes and kind of like reels back a bit, closes its eyes, spins, and slams into the orb. The orb is going to make a roll.
Oh
If
God,
that-
no! Oh God, no!
Listen, if you are next to the orb and things miss you, maybe they hit the orb.
Ugh.
And I rolled to see if it would be funny, and the nat 20 said it was. So we're doing it. Okay, so basically, we don't want to roll a 1. But each time the orb is hit or involved in an outside force, that will get higher and higher. So as long as this is not a 1, you are fine.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Okay. That's the Varguli's turn, as this one is obliterated. This Varguli is just immediately torn to shreds and absorbed into the orb.
Get
There you
slipped.
go. Goodbye, Varguli number 5. It's been real.
Steve,
Uh,
no!
Where's Mambo number 5?
Up. These guys now have this many hit points. One of them is going to go for Nyx. 2 of them are going for Nana, and 1 of them is going for Keld. Let's start with the 2 going for Nyx. Okay. Nyx, it is just a swarm upon you, but it's just like shield up, like just getting like attacked from all sides, but you are able to defend yourself efficiently. This is 2 against Nana. That is a much higher roll. Is that a 15 or a 19? That is a 19. That's a much higher roll.
That does hit.
I would only assume as I would add things to that. Oof. 14, 15, 16, 17. You take 17 points of piercing damage as this thing slams into you from behind and like digs its teeth into your back. Long claws beginning to like try and like wrap around you. The second one against nothing. Does a 17 hit?
Not now that I'm carrying my shield.
Were you able to get your shield out? I don't
Was
recall
I
that
able to
happening.
do? Did I not do? I
I
thought
remember you threw your bow and arrow down, and I
Yes.
don't recall anything past that, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to trust your memory before mine. I've been
I
sick.
don't know. You know what? How about, because I don't know, how about you roll me a luck check? 10 and higher, you have that shit out.
Okay.
We know you at least have your swords out, which I'm saying is already true now.
It's a 5. I don't.
Okay, so your shield is not out yet, but you at least have your sword out and
Yeah.
can bonk. So this is making contact.
Yep.
Thank you. And see, Jillian, that's a D20. That's not the damage one. You take 14 more points of piercing damage as these creatures are upon you. They look like they are holding on by threads, but they are still sharp and intent on ripping you apart. And then one for Keld, can't forget on the ground. Advantage on the attack. It's going to go with the claws. It snaps at the waist to like hit at you, but it like fully breaks like at the hip, and like its claws rake across the ground next to you, just fully destroying the dirt next to you. And you know that, if that had been your body. But that's no cigar. And then the one we've been waiting for, Gooey Snake, is going to take its attack.
The several of these things ended their turn within 5 feet of me. Fen uses his skirmisher ability to just duck out and move 15 feet towards the tree.
And Gooey Snake follows you 15 feet to the tree.
Whee!
So new positioning, but still will attack you, slamming its body into you. Does a 17 hit?
Just hits.
Wow. Lucky day for Gooey Snake.
Oh boy.
It's yet to roll really well on its damage yet, so let's see.
Oh, it doesn't need to.
It's pretty good. So a flat 10 damage from Gooey Snake.
I had 10 hit points left, so Fen falls
Wow.
unconscious.
Gooey Snake accomplishes its goal. Okay. And the snake slowly begins to now wrap around Fen.
Fen, no! God!
Nyx, you are up.
Yeah. So Fen came closer to me. which means he's probably within, what is it for heal? Within 60 feet of me?
Oh yeah, they are certainly.
All right. And Nyx is going to give him 82 hit points with heal.
There you go.
Even though she looks real bad herself, as her action, and hopes for the best because she's got no bonus action she can do.
Okay. These guys are all going for Gunhild as I am spreading them out about the field. Okay, you don't got come in that hot. I don't know if all that was necessary. Okay. All three of them hit as these like creatures that look like they are more like energy holding Icker together make their way over to Gunhild and absolutely just start throwing hands. All of them hit. That's rough. Let's write these down real quick. And she will use her reaction on this one to take half. 13, 9, and 6. Gunhild went from looking really, really good to looking really bad very quickly. Now that she's actually engaging in the fight, really quickly went looking bad. And that is those creatures' turn. Kelb, you are up.
I'm going to stand up.
Perfect.
And I'm going to lay on hands myself.
Okay, I hate to try and lead the witness. Bosch looks bad.
I should
But
still have an action, but
that's
if
true.
he's
You do get
looking
one.
that
You do
bad-
get to do one hit, but you wouldn't get to do your spell as or your lay on hands. I think as your extra action. So you at least would get to get one hit in, I believe.
or maybe I
if
can
you
hit
do.
him first and then see.
No, I don't know how I feel about that. So you can do your lay on hands and then your bonus attack with your haste.
But I'm feeling kind of led.
And listen, I'm just telling you he looks bad. You are also surrounded.
Kill that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I'm going to heal because
Yeah.
that seems smart.
I don't think that is a terrible choice.
I guess I'm going to try to use my one attack. Okay, that should hit. 27,
27 hits.
30, something.
Yeah, anything between those numbers certainly hits.
Yeah,
You putting any stank on it?
we are. Divine Smite, of course.
Of course.
Let me look at my spell slots.
Yeah, I was like,
Only got
how
one
many
of
can you
those left.
possibly hit?
So wait, which one's the
I have one.
important I think my third level is the important one.
It is.
So we're gonna use our second level.
All right.
$38 points of damage. I don't know if I need to ask about that poison damage, but
You don't.
didn't think so.
No, on Bosch, I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. There's probably only one enemy combatant that any of y'all's poison is gonna work on. To be perfectly fair and honest, based on how everybody on the field looks, just based on appearances. Um, Geld, how do you do this a second time?
Huh. Interesting.
Make it stick.
Well, I think it's kind of going to be like the felling of a tree with the
Mm.
sword. However, those tendrils of light are going to be coming out of the sword into Bosch to sort of hopefully hold him down.
Okay. Um, the sword hits into him, and it is the sound of a splitting flesh and breaking bone as his body kind of caves in at the side, on the opposite side of where the ichor is, his much weaker flesh. Um, and you are rapidly watching that last bit of light leave his eyes as this ichor tries to like engulf around his throat and his chest. Um, Light trying to push this ichor away from going towards his wounds. Uh, Keld, is that your turn? Okay. A look of sorrow and then euphoria. The jealousy gone. And he looks over towards the tree and sees Roshan actively working at it. He takes in his last breath, Keld. You hear his last breath drawn. As he looks to the sky, as his knees begin to buckle. And a smile spreads across his face. You can see the arrow between his teeth. His eyes fill with tears as he beholds his arm, as his body begins to give way. As the ichor, being too powerful, begins, you see it snap his shoulder and the bone protrudes. I hear you. I hear you. He takes the arm as the light leaves his eyes and stabs it through his chest. His spine splits in the back as his organs explode from between his rib cage. Organs and flesh begin to twist and meld across his back, his body twisting and breaking, the bones and ligaments going limp as his flesh and his blood and the ichor begin to build around him. Arms, legs, a creature on all fours, gigantic as the flesh begins to rip and tear away from Bosch. It is a giant monstrosity, wearing Bosch's lifeless corpse as a mask. And you feel screams. Screams of the forest around you, the trees. They scream for their god. And Bosch's face splits open as the creature lets out a roar that makes no sound. It is quiet. There's no life. It is a sound lacking it. It is peace. This creature stands before you And as it is born from Bosch's body, you hear the ground snap and crack as those fissures break open and spread from the roots, engulfing around the circles of bodies and across all of those logs that were strategically placed. You watch as the ground splits and makes its way out into the forest, leaving these large fissures. They have this black ichor that bubbles up inside. You can't tell if it is a heat mirage or just energy that billows up from these things as they begin to form and split. They go past your vision into the forest in all directions. I need all of you to first give me luck checks that you are not standing, besides Roshan, he is floating, to make sure that you are not where one of these things is occurring, where one of these fissures is forming. You basically need to get a 6 or higher.
Oh, I got an 11. Okay, I thought I just made it, but I made it by some margin. Thank you.
17.
3.
1. All right.
No, God. Come on, God.
I need dexterity saving throws from Nyx and Keld. Ooh, let me see what Gunhild and Sunny are up to.
Yeah, I feel like this is a time to use that advantage.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that might be a good idea for both of you.
I
Uh-huh.
think that, yeah.
Do I have an advantage?
I don't know if you've used it yet or not. I have not been keeping track.
Was it from?
Me. It was from me. It was a gift. It was. I don't
Nana,
think you've used it.
I remember
Nana, have you
asking.
used yours?
I have used
Confusing
mine. I used
conversation.
it at the start of combat with the arrow.
So
There was
Yeah.
only one used this combat before this episode, so yeah, Kelton still has his.
Okay.
okay. What do we got?
Dirty 20.
7.
That was with the advantage?
My first roll was another 1.
Oh, good.
Okay. One moment.
Oh, God, buddy.
I don't know what that means.
There's almost no point in rolling this, but I will. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am treating this like lava.
Oh, boy.
Held uneasy on your feet, sword still dug into Bosch, who is now gone, and this beast stands before you. You look into the eyes of Yord before the ground gives way beneath you, and you take. I doubt I
Keld's
can do
nightmare.
enough. You're going to go ahead and take 61 points of damage, of necrotic damage. Um, Keld falls unconscious. I will tell you, people who are standing next to Keld, you do not know if he is going to survive a round in this. As the creature lulls its head back and silently screams, that is its turn for the layer action. Gunhild needs to roll her dexterity save.
Did all these ghoulies roll dex saves too?
Ooh, thank you so much. I'd love to tell you what happens to these ghoulies. Everybody except the Varghoulies. The second that Yord pulls back, Bosch's face splits and it screams. Their bodies willingly fall into the crevasses. They willingly fall into the fissures. And I'll say that Varghoulie that was on the ground gets absorbed.
Yeah.
But the ones in the sky did not have a chance to do anything about that. Um, okay. And Gunhild steps out of the way. Sunny was just a sidestep from it, so she's fine as well. Yord is now in play. Where's your stat block, girly? It is Gunhild's turn. And I think she is now struggling a bit with the damage she is taking and the horrible amount of fear that is now coursing through her body as she stares at what is a god of nothing, a god of silence. Um, she is not going to go engage with that and is going to, she like looks over at everybody, does a quick head count, and you can see like the ugh as she turns back and continues her focus on Sunny. Um, she is going to make her attacks against Sunny. Boop. Okay, her attack certainly hits. Okay, as this dagger digs into her a second time, um, Gunhild starting to look a little flighty. Does a little over 30 points of damage to Sunny. She is then going to bonus action disengage, and she is going to move away from Yord. That is the intent. As she moves, she jumps over these fissures, which she will roll for. Believe in you, girly. Acrobatics. Okay. And she very easily kind of jumps over these fissures of ichor and makes her way away from the entity. Uh, kind of unsure what to do at this point. Um, that is her turn. It is now Yord's turn. Yord is going to take its attacks against the person currently closest, Nana, who now gets to stare up at the just this almost black gaping hole of a face behind Bosch's split one. His limbs just hanging limply from where this thing's head would be. A terrible mask. It is going to the attacks one.
I thought you'd be taller, you bastard.
The mouth splits wider and goes in to bite you, using its feed attack. The first attack is going to hit. I need to have somebody's character sheet up. There we go. On the first attack, you are going to take 24 slashing damage.
Nana's down.
And the creature turns and moves rapidly over the battlefield and moves towards the rest of the party. And mid her turn, that's where we are going to take our break. And we'll get back to Yord, I promise. Thank you for being here. How about you go get a snack and a drink for the rest of the session, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 202 of On the Backs of Gods. We are in the middle of combat, in the middle of the literal god Yord's turn in combat, who has been birthed from Bosch, probably the most beautiful honor he could have ever received, as he is now being worn as a mask atop his god's gaping maw of a face. Nana is felled, currently at 0 hit points. Keld is in the Ichor, so it does not catch Yord's attention. But that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of people to go bother. The first one being Fen. The creature will go and just large, huge steps, making its way across the Ichor and past it, easily gaining ground on you, Fen. It is going to lift one of these like horrible flesh-colored hands dripping with ichor, and you can see that like Bosch's bones are now the claws that align each finger as it brings it down to rend at your flesh. That would be a 20 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit.
Gee, Merry Christmas.
That would be 21 slashing damage.
Okay.
And if you are still up, it'll use its third attack against you.
Okay. I'm still up.
You watch as like a piece of like large, horrible, extended muscle in the arm like detaches and like shoots out like a whip to hit at you and grab onto you.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't. That's gross.
You're right. I take it back. It gives you a gentle kiss on the forehead.
Thank you.
Just as bad.
It kisses you with Bosch's
mwah.
lifeless face.
Still dripping ichor.
Oh yeah, 100%. This thing is drooling ichor from its mouth that is now just like dripping down Bosch's body.
I mean, just impolite. Like,
Should at least
Um,
take him out to dinner first.
This will be 22 to hit.
it'll also hit.
You're going to take 12 slashing damage plus. I'm not done.
You could be down.
No, no, no.
Eee.
Plus 9 necrotic damage. And I need a strength saving throw.
Oh, that's a 24. Fen, not a
That-
strong guy, but rangers have proficiency in strength saving throws, so not a
Um,
terrible saving throw.
Okay, that exactly saves.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's very scary.
This thing grabs you and like pulls you closer, and you are able to like get yourself free, but it seems like it was going to be able to hold you in place. The mouth drops open agape as just ichor and saliva spill out of it as it screams silently. Just no sound coming from this thing. Even when it moves, it just seems to move so quietly. That is Yord's turn. Now it is Sunny's turn, who stops for a moment. And it is fear that goes across her face. It is fear when she sees this thing. And I'm going to roll something for Sunny. who sees a terrible god before her. Sometimes it's easier to do the wrong thing because maybe you'll win and you'll look right. Giving up and running now, that's loser thinking. So not yet. Um she is
Sunny ain't been no quitter yet.
nope, she's been in it for the long haul, so she's like, I actually hate that. When I'm perceiving
Mm,
actual disgust.
the culmination of all my efforts, not loving it.
But she is going to begin making her way not towards Gunhild, but towards the tree. Um, as that's a fucking problem.
Oh boy.
There it is. Okay. So she does need to dash to get to you, Roshan. She will do it and then action surge. Stop. Is she just pants out the word stop. Like there's nothing else to be said. And she is going to take both of her attacks at you. For the people at home, Roshan, how many hit points you sitting at?
38.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Does a 19 hit you?
Not if I shield.
Would you like to shield?
Whee!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, 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 the satisfaction.
I will now roll to see if her sword hits the orb.
Oh god! Oh god!
um. Okay. Scrapes across the tree, just grazes the orb. Just grazes past the orb. Does not graze the orb. Very close though. But will come in with the Ichor sword and swing on Roshan. What's your new armor class?
20.
Ooh, cute. Let's see.
Come on.
You don't want a 19 or 20 on this dice. Okay, that's a 19. You and I need to have a chat real quick. You feel this sword hit into your shield, and you watch as it begins to eat away at it. Starts to eat at the magic and begins to break through it as it hits against your body. Which then it begins to like tear at the fabric and flesh on your shoulder. I need you to make a constitution saving throw.
Come on, buddy.
Against a spell?
No.
That is a total of 8.
Okay. You hear the flame scream first. Anguish. Horrible anguish. As its arms wrapped around you, it almost feels like it's cradling you. As you watch the world instantly begin to darken. As you feel horrible ripping pain from your shoulder. As you feel your life force pulled immediately from your body and into the sword. The flame trying to hold you, but its body now unable to keep you up as it has nothing to tether itself to. And it just whispers, no, 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 in your ear over and over again as darkness takes you. Is there anything Roshan would like to do or say before he dies?
I think before he dies, he whispers and I'm sorry to the fire.
Okay. And in death in this moment, there is warmth. She feels warm and loving against you, and you just don't know if that's maybe inherently in her nature or the nature of fire. But she holds you until there is nothing left to feel. Roshan falls at the base of the tree. Sunny lets out kind of a snort and then looks at the sword. Fuck. Fuck. Gives it a little spin and then turns kind of emboldened back towards the group, standing in front of the orb. That's her turn. Nana, you are up.
More accurately, I'm down.
I need a death saving throw, please. And you can say these out loud for this combat. I'd love to hear them out loud for everybody.
Gotcha. First one. That is been a minute. Con or straight?
It is a straight roll.
12.
Okay, that is one success. That is Nana's turn. Roshan no longer will take an action. Fen, you are up. Nyx, you are on deck.
How far is, I mean, I guess the monstrosity is right in Fenn's face.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pull a prayer bead from his from the necklace. He's going to take a knee and he's going to call out to the goddess Scotty. Say, as the wielder of your bow, I beseech you to aid the wild from corruption and oblivion. Save my friend Roshan and past planar ally. And then take a shot with disadvantage at the thing that's looking him in the face.
Okay.
I have to imagine that a 14 does not hit this thing.
14 does not hit. You watch as this bolt explode.
Oh
Maybe it hits
no!
after all, who knows?
SFA?
Fine. I know things are serious, but I just flung my headphones with all of the gesticulating. The bolt just explodes across its body. There was no way you were going to miss it. It just does nothing.
Does not find purchase.
Here's my question. How confident is Fen that Scotty is alive?
Fen knows that there are still entities working for her. Fen knows that her magic still exists in artifacts. Fen has no real way of knowing for sure whether, any but two gods are actually still alive. But he's making a leap of faith here in a goddess that represents the wild, which is a thing that he exists in, and exist to protect, and he is actively saying corrupted by this, and is really, really hoping that goddess would have a dog in this fight as well.
Time almost seems to slow for a moment as you stare into Bosch's lifeless face and to the abyss past it. Hello, we must act quickly. What is your request? I speak for the goddess Scotty.
Save my friend Roshan. He's the only chance any of us have.
I see. In return, you will come to Scotty's aid when she calls you, or that life will be forfeit.
Whatever it requires of me.
Of course. And time comes back to you as a cold breeze sort of moves past you, winter air in this like harsh, warm environment. And you hear the sound of hooves. And running from the tree line is a horse made of wind and leaves as it begins to quickly run its way, easily maneuvering up the hill and towards Roshan, where it comes and lays atop him, kind of like curling in as if to sleep next to him. Roshan, it seems that maybe you still got a dog in this fight.
Hot dog!
Are you willing? Is your spirit willing to come finish what it started?
Hell yeah.
Uh, you awake to the sensation of being in the snow, and you can see your own breath in front of you, and there is a coldness that begins to rapidly be replaced with heat as the flame kind of crawls back into existence with you. Roshan, you have 1 hit point.
Yay.
And you see Sunny like as like the breeze like blows like her weird bob backward, and she's like, huh. And then like kind of like that like waiting sword spinning kind of thing, and like turns and like looks around at like Roshan and the rest of the group, taking it in. Um, Fen, is that your turn?
As a bonus action and an action, without drawing an attack of opportunity, that's all Fen can do. So
Okay.
he's going to stand there and look Bosch's corpse in the face.
Perfect.
In the bisected face.
Yord is going to use a legendary action. The tether that was once around you pulls free as it is not able to keep you contained. And it is the sound of like muscle ripping as it extends and tries to grab at Nyx. It's going to make a tether attack. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
How neat. Okay, you take 12 slashing damage plus
Oh god.
I'm gonna re-roll that even though it was really good. I grabbed the dice weird, so now I'm not sure if that was the top number. That's upsetting. I am nothing if not fair, and that's a much lower number. But
We appreciate you and your discretion.
Yeah, I
DM.
know.
Thank you.
Then you're going to take 5 necrotic damage. And I need a strength saving throw.
Okay. So that would knock me down to 0, but it puts me at 1 because of Death Ward.
There you go. Death Ward keeps you up.
So strength saving throw.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. 13.
You are easily pulled towards Yord. As you like your eyes flutter into like lifelessness, and then oh nope, and you are aggressively pulled um
Don't like that.
towards Yord. Yord does not grapple you, can only grapple if you are already within a certain distance, but you are pulled against Yord. That is the legendary action. Nyx, it's your turn.
Yeah.
What's up? What's going on?
Can I see Nana? Is she within 60 feet?
Sure.
All right, Nana, you're going to get a healing word to pop up.
That's
You-
appreciated.
Yep. You have a whole 10 hit points. And then I will up my symbiotic entity to have some temp HP.
There you go.
And that's it.
Okay. Held. You are up. What are you doing?
I'm
So I
assuming
hate
I'm no
to
longer
be-
hasted.
Yeah. Which means
Oh.
you don't have an action or a movement.
Oh.
Fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
At least you're not stunned or paralyzed.
So it just takes away the action and movement.
Yeah.
Do I have a
Um,
bonus action?
Based on the wording I have heard, you have a bonus action.
Yeah, you might want to consider anything you might have.
And I will do the only thing I can do and Misty Step, hopefully out of the dirt.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you get to pick a spot within 30 feet that you can see. Where would you like to go?
Paint me a picture.
It's kind of more, do you want to go towards Yord or away from Yord or just next to the crevasse? That's kind of the... Because you could probably put your body next to Yord if you were so inclined. You could also just kind of put it next to the fissure. You could also put it 30 feet back.
Is Yord still now approximately where Bosch was when you did the doodle at the start of Sesh?
No, they're closer to the tree now.
Closer to the tree now? Okay.
Just a wee bit.
Where is Yord in comparison to this fissure? Are they like right next to each other? Or?
Just imagine that basically if you move of your own accord over like 10 feet, you're probably going to be near a fissure or have to jump over one. The fissures
Okay,
are
so
everywhere.
there's no real like getting away from them.
No, they are everywhere.
I guess I will go next to Yord then.
Sure, your body like frozen lands next to Yord. Just roll me strength, just straight strength, to see if you can make yourself be standing. Unless you'd like to be laying down. But
I don't like this dice. It keeps rolling a 1.
well, you are certainly prone then. Yeah, you are out of harm's way in the sense of you are no longer in the fissure. You are prone next to Yord.
And don't have a movement.
That is Keld's turn. No longer Death rapidly approaching in the acre. Um,
How close is he to where Nana is?
um, probably around 30 feet away.
So, like, in other words, separated by a couple fissures at least.
At least a fissure.
Fun. The floor is
Okay.
lava, guys.
You watch as Yord does another legendary action, and you watch as the flesh begins to like split and peel in places, and it is just like a black cloud that begins to like seep out of the skin and spreads out in the space around it, which will encompass Nyx, Keld, and Fen. Um, it is it is rot in its purest form. It is horrific. Um, at the start of your turn, please remember that you have that to deal with. I will also do my best to remember. But that is currently in play around you. And then anybody who enters into the space around Yord. Back at the top. Layer action. Yord digs these bone fingernails into the earth. Technically, based on my own writing, I can't move Roshan, but I can move everyone else. So to avoid moving Sunny, Yord claws the earth, and everyone else, including Gunhild, is pulled into this smog around Yord. Roshan, you're kind of like laying up on the tree, and like you can feel yourself starting to like slide down it a bit as if you were going to be pulled towards it, but you were just up on it enough to not be pulled. All of you are now inside of the cloud. That is that. Gunhild is going to. We are in the terrible cloud. Constitution saving throw. I don't think that's gonna cut it. No. Um, the failed save the creature's. Gunhild immediately like inhales, eyes water, and leans forward and vomits. Cannot stop dry heaving. Is going to have to use her action to retch, and then is going to use action. Yeah, is going to use her movement and bonus action disengage and use her movement to get out of this cloud. She will have to jump over some fissure. Gunhild, coughing, sputtering, backs out of the cloud and feels her heel give way and falls into the fissure.
Oh no.
She is going to take 10d10 damage.
Oh god.
And is still fucking up. Damage. Sitting at 3 hit points. Gunhild falls back into it, and her screams just rip out across the field. Um, um, that's that on that. That is Gunhild's turn. I basically was like, she just has to like not roll a 1, and then she rolled a 1. As as I spoke into being. And it is what it is sometimes. It is now Yord's turn. You watch as the mouth pries itself open. It is just dark abyss past Bosch's face. And a silent cry rips out. No sound, but visceral and horrible. I need. Honestly, being prone may have just helped this for you, sir.
Hooray.
Everybody except Keld and Roshan. I need you to roll me wisdom saving throws.
Got an 18.
28.
Mm,
I got a 10.
Oh, bud.
okay. Nix, you said like 28, right? Okay. Yeah. Hold on. What did you get, Nana?
18.
Okay. I was being like, maybe I'm polite enough to give you Keld's aura. Even if I did, it would not matter.
Oh.
You would be still short.
Oh, no.
So Nana and Fen are going to take 22 points of psychic damage. That was a very bad roll.
Nana's down again.
And Nix, you'll take 11. Okay. Yord is content to stay where she is. It is Sunny's turn, who kind of like looks on at everybody engulfed in this terrible cloud. Does not feel like going into it. Looks over at Roshan, who's like, it's hard to come back to life quietly. Like, that's just unavoidable. She sees you start coming back and like glances over at you. You can look away if you want. And kind of almost solemnly chucks Eldritch blasts into the group. She doesn't really see you as a threat currently, Roshan. She's not really concerned about you. But she will take some attacks against people still standing. So we'll send one against Fen. Let's start there. That would be a nat 20.
That's the overall roll?
Overall, no.
Yeah, what does her modifier add to that?
Okay. I won't always tell you this, but I'll happily tell you this time, I suppose, to be polite. It adds 7 to it.
Okay. I'll take whatever the damage
Am
is.
I able to use my emblem prone?
You are, but is it that you need to be next to the person that is hit or the person that is attacking?
When you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you suffers a critical hit.
Okay, so you can use this then. Use your reaction.
That's
So
my
it'll
last
just be-
one.
This will just be a straight roll then. That's silly. Um, silly for both of us, really, as this hits, kind of like this aura goes up, like, like this beautiful aura, and it kind of like pushes its way past and like gently like bops Fen in the face for 1 point of damage instead of 2. Um,
Oh,
um,
Kind of sick
and
joke.
sorry, that's how Eldritch Blast works. But we'll roll another one against Fen. That's another nat 20.
do it.
Hey, could be a 1 again.
Could be.
Oh, also, hold on. That should have been more damage. Okay, so that first one would have been 4 damage.
Okay.
And now this one. I'm just like, weird. Okay. Actually, nope. God, I feel stupid. It rolls for you for crits. Oof, that sucks on the second one. So I'm gonna ask you to just like give yourself 3 hit points back as I also do this. It's only fair.
I
And
await
you
your
take,
verdict.
yeah, so you take those 3 back. Those are yours.
Okay.
But you will be taking 36 points of damage on the next one.
Okay. I would love to take.
Half.
No.
Wait, hold on, guys. I hate rolling on D&D Beyond. Before you waste any of your shit, give me a second.
Okay.
Before you waste anything. There's too much going on. Okay. All right. I've gotten here now. You'll take 16 points of damage.
Okay. I accept. Fen looks very bad, but is still standing.
And we'll take the 3rd attack against Fen.
Okay.
I don't think a 16 hits, does it?
It doesn't.
And we'll take the 4th attack against Fen,
Do it.
which is another 16. It is just, it seems she does not Eldritch Blast all the time. Just sends those in.
I think she was just stunned and a little awed by Fen's resilience and is like, maybe she's thinking she's on the wrong side of this fight. Like, God, this guy just took 2 critical hits and is still just tanking it. Maybe I should be on his side. That's what she's thinking.
She thinks that and then looks at the horrible abomination that she would have to go fight and then is like, you know,
She could run away too. That's always an option.
she could. She kind of stands here next to Roshan. Roshan, she's kind of like next to you and like kind of like leaning against the tree next to you and kind of like watching on. That's going to be her turn doing. See now, that's what you get for rolling on D&D Beyond, Jillian. That's what you get for being lazy. You get confused. That is Sunny's turn. Nana, you're up. Roshan, you're on deck. Nana, give me a death saving throw.
I will do so. Ooh. That is a 3.
Okay, that would be a failure.
Yep.
Yord is going to use a legendary action and is going to take a bite attack. It just pulled Nyx over. It'll take a bite attack against Nyx. Okay. Hold on. Does an 18 hit?
It does not.
All right. as this mouth opens and goes to like slam in around you. It's kind of like falling backwards as like almost like holding on to Bosch's like limp corpse to like duck beneath the mouth as it pulls back and away from you, and you're just like left covered in ichor, but just avoided uh being fed upon. That's that legendary action. Roshan, you are up.
So what's his spell is still hovering around the orb, correct?
Yes. After this turn or this round, if it is not engaged, it'll go back to the beginning.
Well, I think he's going to uh, um, let me know how much I can, but I think standing here at the base of the tree, he's afraid that Sunny will just kill him again, and this whole thing has been an improvise, and I think he's going to bridge the distance between him and the sphere, just start pouring all of the spells he's got, which I imagine like go from his hand and silently wrap up the trunk and start wrapping around the orb and rearranging themselves from the normal course of that spell work and into something new that can give him what he wants.
Okay. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. You see, as you have informed me, you are using spell slots and a lot of them. I'm counting this as a spell.
Okay.
Sunny will use her reaction to attack you.
Damn.
But you have a chance to roll what has been an ever increasing DC. So you can
Okay.
roll Arcana, but she will be hitting you right after, or attempting to.
How much spells do you want?
How about you just give me your highest one?
Okay. I was preparing to give you all of them,
Yeah,
or
this
like
is where we're
20
starting.
levels of spell slots,
It's very
if you
fun.
want them.
Um,
Because I rolled a 30 on my Arcana, and if you add 20 spell slots, that's like 50, which is also a nice number.
yeah, give me all your spell slots.
It's
You
not all
you
of them.
convinced me.
I still got some piddly shit left,
Yeah, give me the good ones.
but most of them. All the good ones, yeah, all the good ones are
All the
gone.
juicy ones, they're out.
It is a whimpering sound. Fear. As some of that energy is pulled off and away and onto yourself to sever the ties of the entity holding on to you. And she screams, and you can feel her fingers dig into you. It is a cacophony of voices, her begging for life. One of them says, I can't come back. One responds, I know. And she weeps. And one of the voices spits and howls, screaming vitriol, cursing you. And then a voice deep, deep in the back curses the blood, curses Ave, curses the thing that killed her once, and now it feels like killed her a second time. She is torn from this reality. She was never Golveg. She was somebody else. But now she's back as she was, as she should be, perhaps, which is nothing. The orb is still in play. The flame is not. Anything else, Roshan? As uh, um, Sunny like seems so confused at what is happening, but is like, okay, he's fucking with the orb, so she will swing at you. Um, uh, Also, based on what you have given me, um, I will say that I will, based on your kindness and your giving me of spell slots, I will put one success already in for now dismantling the orb, if you are so inclined.
Oh shit. The orb, the energy is still with the orb.
Yeah, some of it's still there. I told you that was an option.
I wanted to get rid of it all.
I know, but you picked the flame. And she's gone. You fully sunder her from this reality.
Great.
And Sunny will throw hand. It'd be very funny if I could do what I did again, but I just I don't believe in me like that. To be fair, she doesn't attack on this one with that sword, so it's fine. It's been really funny with a 19 on the dice. Um, but that's a different entity. She just fully like brings the sword down, like stop it, and you just fall unconscious. That is Roshan's turn. Fen, you are up. Nyx, you are on deck.
How far am I?
1 second. 1 second. Constitution saving throw, please.
The miasma.
16.
Your action will be used to vomit. You still have your movement and your bonus action.
We'll use my bonus action to Misty Step to Nana, and that's where I'll end my turn. Whatever movement I need to close the rest of the distance.
Sure. I'll say you're able to do that. That is Fen's turn. Nyx, you were up. Keld, you're on deck.
Con save?
Yes, please.
It's a nat 20. So 24.
Hell yeah, girl.
Yeah, it's gross, but whatever.
It's gross. Question.
I live in fungus.
How many
Yeah.
of my friends would be in a 30-foot sphere at the moment? Everybody? Because I would
Yeah,
love
why
to-
not?
Because I'd love
Sure.
to cast Mass Cure Wounds
Sure.
on the team. And if Gunhild happens to also be in this 30-foot
Yeah,
sphere, good for
Gunhild
her.
happens to be in there. Good
If
for
she's
her.
in there, I'd love that for her. You all good. $22 back for everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Yay.
Roshan, the yo-yo of darkness and life and death and You're back.
You're
Mood.
welcome. And I never have bonus actions, so that is my turn.
And I'm done. Thank you. Okay. Um, Held, you are up. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck you, dice. Con save. 13.
Your action will be used to vomit.
Gross.
If I'm being not lenient with all of you, I suppose I cannot be lenient with myself. Fen just got really lucky with his path towards Nana and angled it so that he misty stepped to a line and was like, I'm going to run across this instead of jumping over it. So that's what I'm telling myself. Because I'm not going back. All right, so Keld, your action is used to vomit. You have your bonus action and movement.
I think I'm going to use hidden step to turn invisible.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. Is it worth leaving? I don't
You might have to make a check to jump over stuff.
know. I don't want to do that.
No, based on what your dice are doing, I don't know if you want to do that either.
And I guess I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay, you go invisible and just are like, hold my breath as he vomits. And then kind of like puts a hand over his mouth, trying to stifle the sound. Okay. We are back at the top.
Boss rush.
Lair action. A pulse of energy starts at the first line of where the corpses had one spin, which is now just a circle of ichor around the tree, and shoots outwards. Everybody except Roshan, who is technically behind that spot, and Gunhild, who is below ground level ever so slightly. Everybody else, give me Constitution saving throws.
13.
22.
Dirty 20.
11.
All right. Nyx and Nana, I believe. You're going to take half. So you guys take 9, everybody else take 18.
I'm sorry, remind me
necrotic
how many
damage.
HP we recovered when we got the mass healing word? I
22.
apologize.
22.
It was 22, thank you. And this now was
18. Look at you guys still standing. You guys are so strong. Yord stands before you uninjured. It is now Gunhild's turn. I don't She is going to attempt a strength saving throw to get herself out of the ichor. Doing it this way, she is going to take damage, but she may be able to pull herself out before she goes unconscious. Maybe not. Oof. Just looked at her strength saving throws. She falls unconscious in the ichor, trying to pull herself out. You see her hand scrape against the dirt and then go still. It's Yord's turn. Let's see if it gets its scream back, its silent scream. It does not. So first it will make its feed attack against Nyx. Does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Nyx, you take 33 points of damage as it leans forward and tears into your flesh. If you are still up, it will take its second attack against you with its claws. That's even higher, so that will hit. $14 slashing damage. Plus plus 13 necrotic damage.
I'm at 1.
It will then use its tether to attack you. If it hits, you will go down.
Yeah.
That's a 24 to hit. The tether hits into you, and you can feel like your ribs crack under the pressure. Your vision flashes white and then becomes dark around the edges as you fall unconscious. Well, you took all of my attacks. Good for you. You took them all. You did it. That is Yord's turn. It is now Sunny's turn. I'm gonna roll for her every round to just see how she's feeling about being here. Yeah. Yeah, it all feels kind of like a pickle. You she's now at the point, is there winning or losing? No. Let's throw some Eldritch Blasts around, shall we? And because she's a bitch and we have established this, she will fling the first one at Fen, who is running to pick up a fallen comrade. She can't stop being a bitch now. It's not in her nature. That is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, that will be 10 force damage.
Yeah, Fen falls unconscious.
All right, and then she turns focus, doesn't see Keld, looks around. Nyx is fallen, Nana is fallen, Fen is fallen. looks at Roshan next to her. If I sleep, I dream, and with disadvantage, we'll just unload all 3 of her Eldritch Blasts against you. So disadvantage. Let's start rolling. I don't know why I'm using D&D Beyond. She's cruel and she takes longer. Does a 15 hit?
Did you say 15?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'll shield again.
Okay. Now, what is your current armor class so I can just rapid fire go through the next 2?
20.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's so good. Okay. Third attack. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 on that one. For 1 point of damage. It's like she's like trying to like aim at you literally right in front of her. Which is very hard when you're just kind of like and you have your shield up. She does her 4th attack with disadvantage, which also misses. And she kind of like clicks her tongue and then kind of like shakes her hand out and like is like, I'm gonna hit you with my sword in a second. Like it's very she goes and like grabs her sword. That is her turn. Nana, give me a death saving throw.
Was I knocked down
You're
all
at-
the way?
I don't know what
thought
you're
I-
on about.
I thought I.
Nyx picked everybody up.
Oh well, I 100%
Yes.
would have rocked your shit with Eldritch Blasts.
I mean, like I was at 4
I
hit
went
points.
through the party and said,
I was
Fen
at
is
4
down
hit
and
points.
Nana
I
is
hadn't even
down.
like gotten up from prone yet. I don't know if she's able. I mean, you said you can
You
hear
would've
when
had
people come back from
disadvantage.
life.
It's fine. I'm not
It's
going
fine.
back.
Okay.
So Nana, you're up.
Yes. And I'm going to use Cure Wounds on Fen's ankle right next to me.
Okay.
Yeah, that is 100% Nana's first action upon coming up from death and then being pummeled with unlife. And then she's gonna try to stand up and just put her body over Fen's, shield up, sword ready. I don't think she has an action left, so she's just defensive pose.
How many hit points do I get back?
That's gonna be 8 hit points.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roshan, it's your turn.
I think Roshan is obstinate at this point, and says, I think he just mumbles under his breath, but definitely loud enough for Sunny to hear it, and just says, "You picked the wrong fucking god, idiot."
Big fucking idiot.
Hey, you fucking idiot! You picked the wrong guy.
And then he's going to continue attempting to disable the orb.
Okay.
And that is a 26.
Okay. That is another success. She will use her Mage Slayer reaction as you are casting this spell to throw hands.
Do you want me to give spell slots for it too?
No, you don't have to. But it's a spell. It's a spell in our hearts, as we keep calling it a spell. Let her use Mage Slayer. She's never gotten to. Guys, be nice to me. Let me do things I want to do.
Yeah, because that's something she so seldom gets to do.
20. That'll be a 20 to hit. I was like, does shield stay till the beginning of your turn? I think so.
Even if a 20 would hit.
Ah, you're right. If it hit, it hit. Ain't that the truth? Ugh, terrible.
Good.
Go ahead and take 8 points of slashing damage.
I think he's just gonna mutter weak and then cast a second level healing word on himself.
Weak, aggressively healing. Okay. That is Roshan's turn. Fen, you are up.
Is there still a cloud?
Yes, the cloud is still there. You can see through it well enough, but the cloud is still there.
Okay. Um. Sorry, guys. This is. Fen's gonna.
It's stressful.
Fen's
Can you
gonna
see?
bonus action hand a superior healing potion to Nana and take a shot at Sunny.
Hell yeah.
Sure. Go for it.
Nana will
Get,
accept the
get
potion.
that sneak attack from Roshan being a pissy
That's
little
what I'm
friend.
gonna-
Roshan's like, here I am, helping.
Okay, 25 to hit.
25 hits.
That is a relief. I would have been very dismayed if 25 did not hit. Where did my D8 go?
Well, she could have been in that scenario, but she used her Eldritch Blast, which stops me from doing cool
There it
shit.
is. All right. 29 points of damage.
Okay. This bolt shunks in to her shoulder, and she like looks at you and like looks at Roshan, and she's like, God, I hate you guys so fucking much.
Oh, fuck you,
God
just leave.
damn. Fuck you. She flicks you off. Ew. um
That's yeah, Fen. Yeah, Fen's gonna move over towards where no, Fen's gonna stay put. Fen's gonna stand
Okay.
right where he is.
Neat. Nyx, would you give me a death saving throw? Is that where we are
Of
with you?
course. Yes, it is.
I can't assume anybody's dead anymore. You guys just keep popping up. Just keep assuming everyone's dead.
11.
Okay, that's one success. Keld, you are up. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
7 with a nat 1.
You have
All
rolled
these dice.
at least 4 nat ones in this.
And I'm
combat.
rolling different dice, so like this is some
What?
fucking shit.
What is happening? You need to just do. I don't even know what kind of purging ritual or purification something. I don't know. You might need a priest.
Okay.
I might.
Your action is used to continue vomiting. You have your bonus action and movement.
Can I use all of that to get over to Sunny?
Sure, why not? You will have to roll to jump over fissures, though.
You know, I'm gonna die either way, so let's just do it.
I'll die closer to Sunny, he says. And you know, good for you. So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. The DC is 10.
That'll be a 14.
Okay. This time you run forward, leaping over, and yeah, I'll say you get over to where Sunny is.
Cool.
Or at least on your next turn, you could get to where Sunny is with your movement. Both are technically kind of the same thing. It's still difficult terrain, but now it's goop instead of bodies. That is Keld's turn. It is time for the layer action. Yeah, I think it's getting desperate. It will continue its daisy cutter.
I don't like it.
Everybody besides now Keld and Roshan, go ahead and give me Constitution saving throws.
21. I say that so confidently, like that means anything in this combat.
Yeah, I know, right? But I got between my dice and my con 26,
Okay.
which
You
I hope
guys will
means something.
You guys will take half, so you take both of you 11 points of necrotic damage.
I'm down.
Okay. Nyx, go ahead and take a death throw failure.
Yeah, Fenn's down as well.
Okay. And as this energy moves across the field, silent in your minds, it's more of a feeling. The word yield. The sensation of a quick and quiet death. No more pain, no more fighting. A gift from a god. Yield. At the top, no more cries come from Gunhild as she disappears into the Ichor. It is Yord's turn. Nyx is down. Fen is down. Nana is down. Roshan and Keld are up. It will make its way forward. It is going to go for Keld first, as he is the closest. Does a 20 hit? Okay. Go ahead and take 21 points of piercing damage.
That will take him down.
The teeth dig into Keld's neck from behind, and it throws him as he skids across the ground. Yield. The tendon rips from its body as it approaches Roshan. And it will take its attack against him. It is a 17 on the dice. You take 15 points of slashing damage. And 10 points of necrotic damage.
That would knock him out, but he's resistant to necrotic.
There you go. And now I need a strength saving throw.
That's an
I
11.
I don't think you are physically capable of getting this DC. Um,
Wow.
that's presumptuous. This tendril goes and wraps around you, digging into the skin. You can feel the bone in your leg beginning to bend as it drags you away from the tree and towards it. Yield. That is Yord's turn. Roshan, do you yield as you listen to a quiet battlefield around you?
Um, I think Roshan takes a second to take the quiet battlefield in and um, in this serene moment of absolute pain, fear, and disgusting barf breath, uh,
Mm.
Roshan spits into the gaping hole that is Yord's face and says, and then just whispers, no.
Okay. It's now Sunny's turn, who must, possibly very comedically, jump over a fissure to get to you. How funny, though. Okay. Uh, leaps over and seems horrified. Like you can see her hands trembling around the swords as she goes and stands before Yord. And she glances down at you. We made our choices. And she will swing down with both swords. Does a 21 hit for posterity, I suppose?
Always.
Always. That'll be 9 points of slashing damage.
I'm passed out.
Okay. I'd love to, in this moment, very quickly, I suppose, there's a chance that you could roll a nat 20 and get back up. But how long do you think you could stay up? Who do you think you could bring up with you? What do you think you could do in this moment as another wave of energy cuts across the field? What would you do as Yord uses a legendary action to completely fell Keld? I would love to know. I'm going to go down the line. Starting with Fen, we'll do it visually in our little boxes. Is there anything Fen says or thinks before he dies? And what does he think happens when he dies?
I think Fen recalls every bad choice he ever made in his life. Every time he should have been bolder and wasn't. I think he imagines himself crawling through the mud and bile that covers this battlefield towards every single one of his friends simultaneously and not making it to a single one to help them. And I think he dies face down in the mud and is relieved to know that he won't be burnt, but horrified to know that he's become part of whatever the worst thing is. And he knows he failed.
Okay. What are Nana's final thoughts, and what does she think happens when she dies?
Nana regrets. Nana wishes that she had been stronger for her friends, had found stable footing sooner. She reaches towards someone anyone can't muster the strength. It's all burning. The world is burning. Ave's gone. For nothing. She'll never get to see Erling grow up. She falls into darkness and cold and despair and disgrace. She has earned nothing in the afterlife.
Okay. Nyx, what are your final thoughts, and what does Nyx think happens when she dies?
Her thoughts jump between a few things. Happiness that she had another week, another couple weeks that she thought she didn't, and was able to try to do this. Happiness that she saw her family one more time, was able to tell them she loved them. The hope that what Russ wanted comes true and he doesn't know this happened to her. And also just this small flicker that if there's any way, because she knows that death is part of the cycle and doesn't actually always mean the end, and if there's a way, she's going to come back and finish this.
Okay. It's a circle and there is no end.
Mhm.
Roshan, what are your last thoughts after you spit into the face of the god of nothing? And what does he think happens when he dies?
So I think in that liminal space between life and death, uh, Roshan's first inkling is to send ascending to his sister,
Mm-hmm.
even though, I mean, he's dead-ish, so he doesn't know that it'll go, and it's also not the time of day that she has her phone on, so it may fall upon deaf ears, but I think Roshan just very calmly speaks into the ether. Could have used a miracle, but now I think you'll need the miracle. I love you. Please tell Mom that I love her too. And then just I think the final word that he sends off is a twin speak for catch you later. And For him, I think his closest brush with the afterlife was in fully in darkness, the room with all of the shadows, the long house in the dark. That's what he expects to find.
Okay. You swear in those last moments that you hear the response. Catch you later. Keld. What are your last thoughts and what do you think happens when you die?
I think initially Keld has to drag his thoughts from a dark place because the last thing he saw was friends downed and the monstrosity that is Yord. However, he's able to pull his thoughts to more hopeful dreams. Maybe they're dreams that his other allies are faring a lot better than they are. He knows, similar to Nyx, as Nyx knows, that life can still spring from death. So while this might be the end for him, he's hopeful that it's not the end for everything.
And I don't think you need to take a guess at where Keld goes when he dies, as he feels loving, cold arms wrap around him, just as he promised. You can feel the first wave go off in the ether. If you had bones, it would shake them. If you had screams, you would scream them. And then there is the aftershock. And there are souls pouring in, and you can feel the sense of claustrophobia and death in this dark space where you are waiting, where you are nothing, where you have no name. There's nothing left to speak of. It's hard to say if it's existing or not in this void. You can feel the carnage of the end of days. You can feel the blood spilled. You can feel each life as it is snuffed from reality and brought to wherever you are, wherever you rest. Like a spark from nothing in the deep darkness. Roshan, someone says your name.
Roshan is not afraid of darkness, but I still think orients himself to face the direction of the voice, or at least tries to in whatever liminal space he's in. And I think quietly he whispers, "I'm here." Can he hear his own voice?
I think you can feel the vibrations of your voice. I don't think you can hear them.
That is a very familiar sensation to him because he did most of his talking to the shadow under the silence spell. And so I think his voice just raises in crescendo and he attempts to he says it out loud, "I'm here," and then gets louder and louder until he's yelling, "I'm here."
You feel hands grip your shoulders, and your body is aggressively orientated. And it is not visual, it is not verbal. There is no cue for this. It is just a feeling, a sensation. This way. Go this way.
Roshan will begin walking, and is there it pointed in him in a direction. Did it stay with him after he started moving?
You can feel that whatever is behind you is still with you.
Um, then he will move in that direction and then slowly, well, I guess not slowly, but quickly pick up pace until he is running.
You run forward. Something behind you bolstering you, you bolstering yourself, running forward towards nothing in the abyss. And you see a chair.
How is this chair lit?
It's kind of like looking at something with dark vision.
Okay.
It is the silhouette of it. It is the outline. It looks like a wrought iron chair, and it is like facing away from you. But it is the first thing you come across.
I think he will slow and place his hand on the back of the chair, um, to see if his eyes tell him what he expects to feel. Like, is this cold iron or is it something different?
It feels real.
Does he still feel the entity behind him?
Yes.
He'll ask, or well, he'll shout, since he's unsure if he can be heard, and will say, "It's a chair. Do I sit or do I keep going?"
You look around, you request help. You can't perceive anything else. And the entity behind you stands there as support. There's only you, the strength behind you, and a chair that feels like metal.
Um, I think he'll unceremoniously sit. I'm not sure if in this liminal space he has a body that gets tired, but taking a load off after all of that, however long ago that feels like it was, sounds like a good time.
You sit down, everything spins. It feels like the darkness around you constricts and begins to tossle you about as you sit. It is as if the wind is rapidly rushing past you. You begin to feel cold and you certainly feel tired as the world spins and moves around you. The nothing spins and moves around you. And then the sun is on your face, and you are sitting at a table at a little cafe, and Alyona stands hunched over the table in front of you, completely naked, vomiting blood onto the table as she smears it aside and coughs and spits it up. You can see a tooth falls from her mouth as her hands scrape across the table to keep herself supported. The patrons at the little brunch spot stare at her in abject horror as this naked woman screams and vomits, body now covered in blood, as she looks at you with wild eyes and smiles just a little. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky, which I am bad at posting on, but give me a minute. I'll get there, I
Get-
promise.
Yeah, learning curve.
If you want to see how we got here, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods and all of our other shows. Speaking of our other shows,
Dice or
next-
scams?
never buy dice, but if you
Katie,
want
I need an explanation.
to, you can
Sorry.
go to the chat or the box below and get some beautiful dice that were rolling really well for me. You know,
They wanted to tell this story in particular, I see.
I guess so. This is the story that is currently being told very specifically, it feels like, by the dice.
Yep.
And that was their choice. But if you would like a story that isn't in the middle of its apocalypse phase, you could join us the next Thursday. Not this one, but the following Thursday. You can join us for Gossamer Vale, which is a Celtic mythology inspired campaign where our new baby heroes are off on an adventure working for the Heroes Guild and
Yeah.
are
Their
currently
apocalypse happened way long ago.
going to help. They're just doing good, just
Yeah.
doing good boy stuff,
Yeah.
and
We're like Boy
finding
Scouts.
friendship along the way.
Yeah.
You can join us then every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.